Hey everyone, welcome to September. Before we get into the episode, I just want to give a few PSAs just to tell everybody about some of the things that is going on with parts and charts right now. Some really fun things for September. So last week we did So You Want to Become a Therapist, and just reminding everyone that my mini course is available on Gumroad. You can follow the link in our show notes or the Substack post to sign up and get all of that information. Plus, we have a Q&A with me on Friday, this Friday, September 5th at 3 p.m. So if you want to sign up for that, there's also a link posted in the show notes. And it's also self-led September. KP and I are going to be sharing some really fun prompts each week to just help get into more self energy to kind of navigate the eclipse season in September with as much self energy as possible. So if you want those email updates, make sure to sign up for our Substack so that you get those weekly updates. All right, on to the episode.
Welcome. You're listening to Parts and Charts, the IFS and Astrology podcast. I'm Chelsea Owens, an artist and licensed marriage and family therapist, specializing in internal family systems, and one of my spiritual gifts is the ability to balance depth and fun.
And I'm KP Kaszabowski, a poet, filmmaker, and astrologer who seeks pathways to fully loving myself and others, and the language for what is happening underneath the surface.
Together, we explore how inner parts and planetary archetypes speak to one another. Whether you're new to IFS or astrology or deep in your own integration practice, we're glad you're here.
Hello, welcome. We're so excited today to have a very special guest, our first guest on the pod. And welcome, Lisa.
Thank you.
Lisa is a friend and fellow therapist who is integrating the work. And so I thought, why not have one of the people who knows this stuff well to share more about how to combine astrology and therapeutic practices. So welcome, Lisa.
Thank you so much for having me. As I said, I've been binging your episodes and honestly learning so much from y'all. I'm like, oh, that's so interesting. Or like hearing you speak puts language and helps me connect the dots about parts of things that I do that I'm not even putting language to.
Nice.
So
Cool.
thanks for having me.
Yeah. And I'm also just excited to hear more about kind of your therapeutic practice too. Like I know that you use a little bit of parts work too, but it's also exciting to hear more about your practice that isn't necessarily just the parts work as well. I know that we have this IFS lens over here, but it's fun to get like other perspectives and other modalities that's also combining astrology work. So I'm excited to just like hear more of that from you too. So yeah. So maybe if you want to give us like a little background about how you kind of came to this work and maybe even like your astrology background or what kind of informed your maybe path towards astrology and then kind of combining the two and how that kind of came about. Yeah.
Okay, love this question. Yeah. I mean, it's been a journey. I'll start by saying that, so I was a therapist first, and I do feel like I say that first and foremost, that is like foundationally who I am, because I even do coaching stuff now. And I was like, oof, that therapist energy just doesn't leave, it's like in there. Okay.
Yeah.
So I started off on my therapy like journey, which takes a million years. I don't know if people know that. To become a therapist takes a really long time.
Yeah.
So I was on that path for a long time. And then I'd always been interested in things like astrology and magic and just kind of the nonlinear invisible realms, right? And then it wasn't until actually it was my Saturn return. I did know it was my Saturn return, but I was not like this, like, I was definitely not a professional astrologer at that time. Anyway, long story short, I do tell the story, but I was at my friend's birthday party and her mom was reading charts for fun. Okay. Like, how fun is that kind of party? Am I right? Shout out to Susan Regal. And basically, she's like looking at everyone's chart and it's like all fun and people are laughing and it's interesting, blah, blah, blah. And then like she comes to my chart And she looks at it and like her whole face expression changes. And she was just like, I was like, what? Like, what is going on here? Right. Because I was like, I knew the like kind of basic astrology stuff before. Anyway, basically what I learned was she was looking at my big 12th house stellium, and like that just set me off on this whole path that was like, I have to understand like why she reacted that way. What does this mean? Like, what's going on here? Right. And so my like fascination with astrology became like this obsession with understanding my 12th house. Also because, and this is why I really like the essence, I feel like, of why I brought it into my therapy was like learning about my chart, especially in my 12th house, was like the deepest validation I've ever experienced in my life.
Wow.
Right. And I feel like that's so like what therapy is about. Oh, on one hand, right? It's lots of things, but I felt so seen, and I feel like it made me understand like why I am the way I am, if that makes sense. So anyway,
Yeah.
I'm dragging this out, but basically that was my like true like, holy moly, this is like so deep and so helpful. And then I'm already in this like world of healing and like learning about ourselves and trying to grow. And I was like, if this is so helpful for me, like, how am I not bringing this in? Anyway, it was a long road because I was quite young then, so it's been a journey. And I was still just doing the regular therapy thing, which I still also do. Like, I'm a Gemini rising, so I wear a million different hats. I'm a regular therapist. I'm an astrotherapist. I'm an astro-coach. I do readings. There's like a million different things. But yeah, I had to bring it in. So it's been this journey of doing that. And did I answer your question? I feel like I went on
Yeah. That
a
when
rant
she
there.
when she did the reading, like did she just drop like this like any information on you, or did she just say like gasp and then not tell you more about it, leaving you suspense?
She definitely did. She shared, but I didn't totally understand it at the
Yeah.
time, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, also the art of like translating to somebody who doesn't know is big, and also maybe I wasn't fully ready to receive all those things. Like I think that's another thing with
Yeah.
astrology is like you take in the energy about yourself when it's like the right moment,
Yeah.
which is also a therapy skill. Like you can't just
Yeah.
like tell clients like this
Mhm.
is what's going on with you, right? They a little bit have to like come to that themselves, So
Yeah.
she's amazing. She totally changed my life. So again, shout out to her.
Wow. That's really
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah, I think
That's
the
so
first time we
interesting.
like met online too, we bonded over being 12th house sons, and like how that I think our hypothesis was like, are all therapists are all, people 12th house sons would be good therapists. Because we love
100%.
probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting because I forget this now. I committed to whole sign as the house system that's just like the ancient astrology or Hellenistic astrology group subscribes to, which is like basically for people who aren't aware of the house systems, like it's how the circle chart is separated or organized. And there are quadrant based house systems, and then there's the whole sign, which is like there's 30 degrees per house. And in a whole sign, we do 30 degrees is connected to one full zodiac sign. Maybe that is too much verbiage to say that when I first came to astrology, I was reading Placidus, and I have 3 planets in my 12th house in that system. And that was a huge reason why I went really hard on astrology for myself, dealing with like anxiety and like just mysteries with the body, mysteries with dream world, stuff like that. So it's interesting you bring that up because I forget that was one of my great impetuses is the 12th house energy and trying to understand that. Because the way it's talked about is like, oh, you're gonna be put in jail, or like you're gonna be cast to sea and die on an island alone. Like it's talked about in such an intense way. But
Yeah.
then like, that's where like the mystics are and the healers and like the people who are yogis and yeah. So
You
very
know,
cool.
thank you for sharing that. And that's so interesting. I'm like, ooh, is the 12th house bringing us in? Like even if you
Yeah.
switch, got you there, right? Me too. I actually have a theory that when people learn that they have 12th house, well, it's not really a theory, but like placements, there's like this period almost of like, it's like a dark moment, especially because of everything that is on the internet. And I'm not saying the 12th house is easy, by the way. I'm not like
Yeah.
delusional, but there's like this period of this like, oh, I'm doomed, or this like almost like victimhood period I've noticed.
Yes.
Anyway, and you move through, it's a whole journey, but ultimately it does bring you in because it's like this deep interest in understanding, like, what is this
Yeah.
like secret hidden energy that lives inside me? So that's so cool. Thanks for sharing that.
And Chelsea also has some significant 12th house placements. Like, I have to believe that that 12th house energy is like that story of the person who is in active addiction becomes like so like acquainted with their own body through the sobriety journey, or like there's just like it is an intensity, or there's just a lot of grappling and understanding and like really sinking in and letting things like letting the world flow through or around you, which is not how we're taught normally how to be humans. So yeah, 12th house, I love thinking about the 12th house and doing my best not to bypass the difficult aspects.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the
Yeah.
story, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's a spectrum depending on how you're playing with the energy. And there's always an element of challenge, of course,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's really powerful ultimately, or it can be,
Yeah.
Do you feel
right?
like you attract 12th house people to your practice? Or like, I guess another question is like, do you feel like you see a specific house or sign that comes to you more in your practice more often?
Yes, 100%. Love this
Really?
question. Yeah, I feel like I'm a 12th house weather vane. Is that the word?
Whoa.
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
100%. I will get, well, the two things I attract the most are 12th house people,
yeah.
and Black Moon Lilith people, like really prominent Lilith
Yeah.
placements.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I also noticed that I'll end up attracting, like, I had some really wild Uranus transits personally for many years, all my Taurus
Yeah.
placements, right, in the 12th. And I was getting all these people who were also having Uranian transits. And yeah, there's definitely like a reflective mirroring energy that happens. And that happens just as a therapist, right?
That's
So
so
yeah, I get
funny
a
too.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that?
I guess on that note too, like if you want to talk a little bit about the Black Moon Lilith, we haven't really talked about it on the pod, and I'm still like so unclear what it is. So,
So
and
it's
that feels like a big part of your practice now. And I know that like folks could go to your TikTok. Yeah, right. Your TikToks usually explain most of that information too, right?
yeah.
So if you want to say more about it here.
Okay, sure. Yeah, she's an elusive one. I feel like she's tricky and like actually even hard to articulate. So I'll do my
Yeah.
best. But yeah, the whole TikTok thing is so funny because it was so like random. I feel like she like chose me in this funny way because I like made the Lilith therapist TikTok on a whim, almost like this fun little side project with like no pressure, and
Yeah.
just started talking about her. And it was wild how much people responded. And I was like, oh, she's having a moment. Yeah. So, what do I want to say about Lilith? I mean, okay. So, I listened to your Chiron episode, by the way. Shout out. Everyone go listen to it.
Aaron, he's a good friend.
Me too. Can you see? I got my little,
Oh, I love
little
it. Well, take care.
Chiron eternal.
Love that.
I do think, well, she's a lot of things. And I do want to give the disclaimer that, like, it's so hard to talk about a placement just like as a blank, like,
Yeah.
statement because it's different
Yeah.
for everyone. And
Right.
she's not even always so important in everyone's chart, especially if she's not touching anything or, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'll try to keep it short. Like, I think she's another wounding point, right? In the way that like Chiron is, but it's so specific to like themes around like power and like repressed primal energy, and something around like shaming and rejection and like something that you might even be scared of within yourself, for multiple reasons, whether it's like societal conditioning, which is so real, patriarchy or whatever, um, or the world you came into or what was modeled for you or your actual trauma. Like she can 100% be a trauma signifier as well. Yeah, so it's like an energy. And then I always say she's definitely shadow work, right? Like the difference between a conscious Lilith and an unconscious Lilith is like night and day, right? Because I'm obsessed with her, but also like she can wreak havoc. She can do damage. Like if you're not conscious of this energy, she can be a real problem in your life, in your relationships. Like, so I feel like the Lilith work is, obviously looking at the sign, the house, the aspects, like starting to explore like what does she mean to you? Do you embody this energy? Do you abuse this energy? Are you scared of this energy? Like, and also if you are tapped into it and have done some deep shadow work, like, is she your superpower? Is she your magic? Is she your witchery? Right? And I'm realizing I kind of skipped over the myth. Would you want me to share that?
Oh,
Yes.
yes, please.
Too much.
We're both
Okay.
like, yeah. Tell us more.
I know. Well, again, I'm going to keep it so broad because there's so many different versions of like the kind of myth, right? And I think just archetypally, it doesn't even really matter. It's the essence of it. So I'm going to keep it really simple, I guess. It's just like before there was Adam and Eve, there was Adam and Lilith, right? And they were equals from the dirt, okay? And then when it came time to bone down, basically, Lilith wanted to be on top. Like, she cared about her own pleasure. She wanted equality. She was like, I'm in my power. I want to be on top. And like, Adam was not into this. And Adam was like, no, you need to be on the bottom or whatever, like submissive. I'm in charge here. And then based on the different stories, either like she's totally exiled from the Garden of Eden, like, you got to get out of here. You're no good. You're not fitting the script. Or she leaves herself. That's like, screw this. Like, I'm out of here. Right. And yeah, different stories. You know, some versions also say that then later, like, she comes back to the Garden of Eden in the form of the snake. Again, different versions. So don't judge me here, anyone who's listening.
Yeah.
So she's like the snake who tempts Eve with the apple, and then it all falls apart. Right. But the big part of the story is that, like, Lilith is either forgotten about entirely, like erased, right? Like, not everybody knows about Adam and Eve, and not everyone knows about Lilith.
Yeah.
Or, no, not or. And definitely historically in different religious books or whatever, she's demonized. She's literally cast aside as this woman who eats babies. She'll kill your children. She's awful. She's this demon because she cared about her own equality and power and was in her sexual power in this situation, like her primal. Do you get the gist? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So she was like cast, literally exiled, right? So that's like something I ask people, or like, you know, your Lilith energy, is this something you've been shamed for? Is this something you've gotten in trouble for? Like, are you scared of it? Have you been told you can't have this energy? Or like, do you run wild with it and it causes you problems? You know? Again, it's different for everybody's chart, but I'll pause there. I would love to hear your thoughts and feelings, right?
I think that I avoid reading about my own Lilith, which is something I'll look into now. Like, what am I avoiding? I know where she is. I don't know what her aspects are actually, but yeah, that's interesting. That I'm probably afraid of that uncovering that will happen.
Totally possible. Yeah, fear is really common. Anger, rage.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Can you also describe the difference between Lilith and Black Moon Lilith? I haven't looked into that.
Yes, I love that you said that. And actually, okay, so I used to be like hardcore only Black Moon Lilith, okay? And for anyone who's like wants to know the nerdy stuff about this, there's like the true and the mean,
Yeah.
okay? So that's something, I think both are valuable, again, just like how all the house systems, which we talked about earlier, are valuable. But okay, so there's an asteroid Lilith who actually is a tangible thing in the sky. So like Black Moon Lilith is not a tangible thing in the sky, but asteroid Lilith is. And I used to disregard her. And I have to give a little shout out to my friend if she's listening, Lily. Her handle's Good Hussy. She's an amazing astrologer. Love her, witch. She also helped me realize that, like, no, the asteroid Lilith is super valuable. And that was like really solidified for me in the last eclipse season, because I didn't know it, but I had major Lilith themes come up for me during that eclipse in March of 2025. And then I discovered it was exactly on my asteroid Lilith. So y'all, don't sleep on the asteroid Lilith.
Wow. So like the themes would be similar for both.
I do think they're similar. I think it's still like a work in progress for me. So I might not say too much on that, but 100% so valuable. Yeah.
That's what I've been reading is like it's like in the astrological world, it's like up for discussion. Like we're still kind of finding it out, which I think has to do with like society as a whole as well, how we talk about Lilith themes. Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta say, the collective is hungry for her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they are hungry for that. It makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, reclaiming power. It's big.
For some reason, my guts like bring up Sasha Fierce. So how Beyonce steps into her alter ego, Sasha Fierce, when she like really has to bring it.
Yeah.
Like that feels like Lilith energy to me. And I wonder where her Lilith is.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I actually do love looking at celebrity charts. I think it's my Gemini. But I saw like real life examples, right? And not that we know them. Actually, I feel like y'all said that in one of the episodes. It's like we don't really know what's going on with these people, and that's so true. And I think being a public figure honestly sucks because people are always talking about you. But yeah, I have no idea. All I know is we discovered recently she's an Aries rising, which is like
I know.
life
Do you
changing.
believe it though? I feel like it's fake. I feel like it was like in that book to like put people off of the trail.
You know,
I don't know.
Scorpio placements feel your Scorpio. I had that same thought. I was like, is this real?
Yeah. Throw us off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Like, oh my God, if her Libra stellium's in the 7th house, of course it makes sense. But I don't know. I think there's something off.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly haven't really studied her chart, but yeah, I hope we can all tap into our Lilith energy in some capacity.
Yeah.
Consciously though, I hope I emphasize that enough. Like you have to understand her energy, you know, again, looking at like I always start like look at the sign she's in, the zodiac sign, and be like, how do you relate to that energy? Is it like, you know, and I this is like all the stuff in the chart. I'm sure you both agree. Like there's the shadow and the light side of each sign.
Yeah.
You know? And usually we embody both. But Lilith is an extra one. We have to be really careful how you use that sword kind of because it's powerful. You gotta be careful, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love it if we brought back the Lilith Fair. Like I'm in such like a 90s phase right now. Like can we just bring that back? Like, you know, all the great music plus it's just like an homage to Lilith.
You know, I actually did nerd out because I have been obsessed with Lilith. I think, as you know, if you follow me on TikTok, I did do the chart of like the first Lilith fair, and I can't remember now off the top of my head, but like she was prominent. I can't remember now. I wish I'd looked it up, but she's
That's interesting.
transiting Lilith, you know, Lilith in the sky right now. She's goes around collectively as well. You know?
How fast does she move? Do you know?
Well,
this is like the nerdiest question.
I know. I'm so bad at the like technical stuff of astrology, just to be clear, which is actually my Lilith in Pisces, to be fair.
Interesting.
Just so like non-linear stuff. So don't ask me science questions. But that's why they did like the true and the mean, I think, is because they're trying to do this like average because this spot is bouncing around so much. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But like for example, and oh my God, I can't remember off the top of my head. We have a Lilith return. I think it's every 9 years. So forgive me if I just messed that up. Cool. But so if that gives any information around science.
Okay. I mean, this is going to be my deep dive after a recording for sure.
Oh yeah, let's talk off recording. I'm down.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not even sure where mine is off the top of my head. Or what's the symbol? Or how do people find that in their charts?
So like, go ahead.
Oh, I wish I had something on me. Only it's like a crescent moon with a cross at the bottom. Okay, it's a great symbol, actually.
Yeah,
cool.
It's not always on charts. Sometimes
really?
it is. You might have to like actively go look for it. Yeah, on a calculator.
Yeah, and again, you have to distinguish if you want the true or the mean. I say look at both and bring up the asteroid Lilith. Yeah, it's a whole. I do have a tutorial on this actually on TikTok.
Okay, we will put that in the show notes for sure.
Yeah, no, I would love to help people find it because it's not like a normal setting on charts really. Although she was added to the Chani app, which is amazing. That's so cool.
Yeah,
cute.
Just like a week ago or something. Very. It's
been a little bit, but it's super new. I think she uses the mean Lilith. Okay. But yeah, I will say it again, y'all. Don't sleep on the asteroid Lilith. She has been making herself more conscious to me, and she's definitely important.
So now I'm curious, when you're working with clients and you bring up Lilith, or maybe they bring up Lilith, like what do you do from that moment? You said like how do you feel about the zodiac energy, but like, how do you get in there together?
Right. How do I get in there? Yeah. Ooh. Okay. Cute question. Also, I just noticed my Gemini's parts were like, I want to ask you 2 questions.
Oh, we can get to that too.
I just like noticed my like first discomfort with that. What part is that actually? Let's IFS it. What was that? That's my
Therapist part?
Gemini therapist part. I think it's very Gemini though. Even like it's not just in my therapy work. It's like my life.
The back and forth. Yeah.
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 Anyway.
I feel that.
Yeah. Again, I think it might be a boring answer because of everything I already said, but I do start with like, what is your relationship to the sign it's in? Right. And then obviously the house it's in shows potential, like, or where this energy might show up. Right. And then any aspects. But yeah, again, I think, it's just like with therapy, I don't think there's like a total roadmap, but I think my goal in my mind is to help them like heal any shame wounds or fear or even rage, because she's part of the rage, right? The rightful rage of Lilith. Like she's pissed. And usually for good reason. So, like exploring and doing some healing around what that is. And then also tapping into, like, again, that sign in that house, like, how is this actually part of your power and leaning into that? And usually none of this is a surprise to anyone, right? Same thing with the chart. It's like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Like, oh, yeah, that is something that's hard for me. Or like, oh, yeah, that is something that I'm really good at, right?
Yeah.
And she is witchy, you know?
Yeah.
I'm excited to go deeper. Both of the mean and the no. Wait, what was the other
True.
kind?
The true.
True
Oh,
and
the mean true, and then the asteroid Lilith.
I think all of them are in Libra for me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey. Interesting.
So that's why I was like, I guess I don't have to distinguish, but like I will. I'll find out if the degrees are different, but
Like
Yeah.
close.
Yeah, I mean, they're all valuable. Again, I want to say relational. Also, I see one of the cool superpowers, if I can just share, of like a Libra Lilith is like that justice oriented. Do you know what I'm talking about?
oh yeah.
Like so pissed, that rightful rage around injustice, you know? So that's cool. I bet that lives in you. Do you feel like you own that or
Yeah.
a little?
That's when I get the most pissed is like someone's treating someone poorly. Yeah. It's in my 10th house too. I'm a writer, so maybe there's something like I'm not yet leaning into that with my stories, but I don't know.
Well, it can be lots of things, even the creativity, right? I mean, you're a creative. You both are. You're both artists. Libra is the artist, right?
Yeah.
And 10th house, like she's in your work. She's like part of what you're known for, part of like, I don't know. It's also can be a hard placement because if actually I have Lilith in my 10th, it's like sometimes people can come for you a little bit in the 10th.
Ooh.
Right, because people will like come for Lilith energy. We didn't even go down that hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But people will have a really strong response to Lilith energy sometimes. Like it's not a neutral energy.
Yeah.
For sure.
Right? Like people are either like obsessed with you or like kind of hate you.
Yeah.
Not to be
Sometimes.
crass. Anyway, I'm not saying that's your story per se.
Yeah, no, but that's part of my experience for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exciting.
I love this.
We could go on forever here.
Yeah.
And again, she's elusive again, right? It's like kind of hard to like totally, I think it's an experiential thing with your own business, really, you know?
Yeah, things are clicking. Like I probably still have the patterns, but the codependency of my like season before that.
Oh yeah.
For sure. And then like just saying like, fuck it, I don't want to do that. I'm sorry if it hurts your feelings. And also I'm not sorry because like this is my life. That's the energy I'm in my 30s.
Yes.
And it feels ruthless, a little cutthroat, but like it's not. And I hope when I'm in my 50s, I'm going to be like, well, I wasn't hurting anyone's feelings by not doing what they told me to do. Right? Like I wasn't being unethical or I wasn't being harmful because I said no. I hope that's my 40s, you know?
Ooh, I want that for you.
That feels like Lilith.
Ask Lilith to help you.
Yeah.
I love that. Also, random thing, and you don't have to share if this is true. I do feel like 10th house too, Lilith can be like a parent. Do you know what I'm talking? Like something, yeah, you don't have to share about that. But sometimes there can be something about like one dominant parent there with Lilith. Anyway.
Some of the things that could come up in Astrotherapy, right?
Totally.
Which I want to hear more about, Lisa, like, and maybe we can even go to the basic level, like how I'm sure a lot of people come to you now, like just for Astrotherapy, right? And who are like, they already know you practice that way and they're looking for that.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe like, yeah, just kind of walking us through like what that's been like for you to combine these two things and, or like even how. And I'm curious also like on the therapist side of things, like when people kind of don't know that you practice that way, or they're like a little bit curious, like how you kind of bring that in or slowly kind of bring that in for those folks who are like coming to therapy and like for therapy, but and maybe they're just like a little bit curious about their chart. Yeah.
Right.
So maybe that's 5 questions. I don't know, but
Okay. So yeah, how I bring it in. Actually, I'll just start with the last thing. When you were like, it almost sounds like you're saying like, how do you convince people it's like worthy? Is that kind of what you're saying a little bit? Maybe.
yeah, I guess maybe convincing and also just like, yeah, just kind of presenting the information to see if they're open to it or if that interests them or yeah, if that's something that they're going to find useful.
Yeah. Well, okay, real talk, I don't really attract anyone anymore who's not interested in it. I feel like that's like why they find me. They're like, "Oh my gosh, this combination, that's so cool." And I'm like, "Yeah, I agree. I love it." I wanted Astro-Therapy. And they are out there, by the way. I didn't invent this. I want to be clear. But you know what? This actually ties into Lilith, and I swear we'll move on. But I used to be really afraid to bring it out, actually. It was like I had my regular therapy clients in one box and like my astro people in another box, which again feels like an IFS parts of a compartmentalization. I guess like a Gemini rising part. Anyway, I think my Pisces in the 10th was like so scared to be seen in my witchiness and my like nonlinear approach.
Yeah.
But I think over time I've like said, screw it. I'm like all in. So yeah, I think mostly people do seek me out for it.
That's great.
But yeah, so I don't know if I do much convincing or like showing. Because also I often I attract two different kinds of people, kind of. There's people who want to learn about their chart. They're like new and they're stoked and they're like, they want the therapy to also be about learning about their chart, which I love because I love teaching woven in. It's almost like astro psychoeducation.
Nice.
In therapist terms.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other group is definitely people who love astrology, know a lot already, and they speak the same language, and they're like so stoked to have someone who speaks the same language. Does that make sense?
Cool. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think the way I weave it in, which I think was your first question, it depends on who they are, right?
Yeah.
Because I do think I work differently with every person. Because some people already know a ton, and so we're doing regular therapy with the awareness of the chart and the transits, and it's just like organic. Do you know? Like, oh yeah, that's your moon, or like, oh, that's Uranus. Like, let's tap into that. But if they're newer to that world, there's a little bit more like, again, I just made up this term right now with you all, which I love. It's like so born out of your podcast. This trademark it, astro psychoeducation of
Love
like teaching about their chart, but in like a psychological context. Yeah. So it's really different for everybody because some people are learning and want to understand, and some people already know what's up and they just want to share that same language.
So you're really kind of looking, like pulling up charts, you know, if you're meeting with somebody every week, like you're really kind of pulling up charts like every week perhaps and looking at transits or looking at what's going on in the chart too. Is that right?
Yeah. And I do want to say, I feel like I reference this. I also do astro coaching now. So I'm like, my brain's kind of like going into all the different, what do? I do lots of different things. Yeah. Especially for for both actually. We'll look at the transits, like recently I'm like, oh, the eclipse season's coming. Like, let's see where that's falling in your chart. And talk about it. But also, for my Astrotherapy, true therapy clients, like, yeah, the therapy I think always does come first. Like, oh, what's going on? We're going to address that. And if the astro is supportive, great. So again, it's really a mishmash, I feel. It's different with everybody.
Have there been like maybe, and you don't have to give specifics about, actual clients, of course, but like have you noticed maybe any instances or themes where like the astro information, the astro data has been maybe even more helpful than like the clinical data, or it influenced or given you like more of an insight, like that's going on, whereas like it maybe have taken longer to get to just like therapeutically.
Yes, which I love that question. Yeah, because 100%. And I think that's part of the magic, right? Like I talked about the validation of the chart. Like I feel like that's so healing, but also the transits, right? Like knowing what's happening, like the major transits, which is like what the current sky is doing right now in relationship to your chart,
Yeah.
can be so like another version of a container for whatever people are going through. And I think, I won't say as a person, but like, remember I said I tended to attract a lot of Uranian transit people.
Yeah.
Like Uranus transits are crazy. You
Yeah.
know, Uranus is erratic, sudden changes. You're also feeling like, oh my God, are we allowed to curse here or no? I forget.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Oh, good to know.
You're not for children.
Oh my God. Hey, no children. Turn it off. Uranus transits are like, fuck it. We got to get free. We're going to blow this shit up. You know what I mean? And that's like scary. It's like the most, in therapist terms, like unstable. Change is really hard for humans. I'm a double Taurus. I get it. So when you can like ground it in like, whoa, hey, hold up. You're having transiting Uranus on your ascendant right now. Like this is makes sense. Like your whole life is up for reinvention.
Yeah.
So I think there's something grounding in that. Doesn't mean you're still not going to have like a wild ride because Uranus is wild. But I do think there's something, it's like being able to put language to something. And even, and this is where I like the witchy parts of my job, like you form the relationship with Uranus, you know, like you put him on your altar, you like talk to it, you do a guided imagery, like you can play with it in so many different ways. That's like in being intentional with a transit or you're intentional with your life trajectory, you know?
So when is Uranus over your ascendant? Do you know?
Wow, look at you. You're so good.
Is it now?
Yeah, no, not yet.
Okay.
It's on my Chiron right now.
Oh, okay.
Pew, pew. I know. It's my Gemini ascendant is at 4 degrees. So I'm not there yet.
All right. In the next year?
Yeah. Yeah. What about you two? Can I like throw it back to you? No, this is good. Like, let's be human. Has there been a transit that you've become aware of that was really helpful for helping you move through something that was really hard?
Do you have one, Chelsea?
I'll think about it. KP, you're probably going to
Putting you all on the
know
spot.
more about that.
Well, I'm puzzled by one that's happening right now and has been happening and will be happening longer than it should be happening. And that's both Saturn and Neptune are at the early degrees of Aries, and my sun, Mercury and Mars are at the early degrees of Libra. So there's this opposition, and I'm not quite sure how it's showing up in my life, and maybe my friends and spouse can see it, but I feel this like both stuck and also called, and I don't know what toward or what against, and so that's like something that's been on my mind. But it's helpful for me to see that, to be able to ask certain questions, because Saturn energy I am very aware of as a Capricorn rising. Neptune energy as a poet I'm pretty aware of, but I feel like I'm not as in touch with Neptune as like a friend. Saturn is like my best friend. So that's what I'm like working through, is like, how can I like become more acquainted with them? But maybe the question is like, how can I become more acquainted with my sun, Mercury, and Mars? And I have been neglecting that part of the equation. So that's happening right now, and it's been weird.
Oh, I love that. Wait, hold on. It's all that your Libra's in your 11th, right? Is that what you said?
10th in whole sign. Yeah.
Okay, so Saturn and Neptune are in your 4th.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's so personal.
I know. And so the ruler of my 4th, the Aries ruler is Mars, which is in my 10th. And that's where the opposition is as well.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's the two malefics, the planets that say no across each other. but I'm still like, I'm okay with being in the soup. I'm okay with not knowing when it's supposed to happen, but yeah. But that's what, like, knowing that transit does give me more faith that, like, the tension is coming from somewhere and not just from me doing something wrong.
Love
Right?
that. Yeah, it's not you. It's not your fault.
Yeah, it's not my fault. That's the word.
Which is
Like,
like full with that. I should be careful about saying that because
right.
like people, there's like memes about that. Like,
Yeah.
it's not your fault that you're being a jerk, right? But that's not what we're talking about
Yeah.
here.
But like to not personalize
Yeah.
the issue, right? And like trust that this is just right on time. I don't have to rush anything. What happens will happen. And I just need to listen more closely or be more open or something. Where like I would say even 2 years ago, I had a much harder time with transits like that, where I'm just like, nothing's working. Nothing is working. You know what I mean? And internalizing that shame.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's been real right now.
And that has a lot to do also, KP, because you're on the tail end of wrapping up your last month of, wait, you're 35, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right? Like in that, I feel like the whole year, aside from just what you're talking about, has been a lot of that energy, right? Like,
Oh yeah.
but as like September 23rd comes, you have a new ruler, right?
I
And
do. Yeah, that's the perfection year thing that Chelsea and I
yeah,
have been talking a lot
So you're
about.
in a 12th house year, KP? Or
Yeah.
you've been in.
yeah,
Yeah.
Congratulations. I keep clapping like a nerd. I don't know what that is.
Thank
But
you. I've
you
survived.
almost. Yeah.
Almost. I
yeah.
shouldn't say
And
that too
then it's
soon.
first house year for you. That's gonna be so fun, right?
Let's hope.
Ooh.
That's another thing is like reflection years have given me hope that like the 12th house year is like, do not force anything. The more you force it, the more pain you'll feel. So that your question is like, these things do help me have a more easeful life.
Yeah.
When it adds to anxiety is when I notice I need to step away and stop looking at the transits, which
Yeah.
was real 3 years ago. That was really hard for me.
That's a whole other topic. Should we go into
Oh
that?
yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you had, oh my gosh, I'm just thinking about all your things hitting your early Libra. I guess that was a long time ago with Pluto, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even knowing that you're in a 12th house year is a whole container for like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Right. But yeah, that's good that you named there's a line. I mean, I joked with a friend the other day. I was like, I can't believe I used to not know astrology. Like, what a blissful existence I was living, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I did looked back to the moment where my husband and I started dating. I was like, oh, there was a lot going on with Venus and my 7th house. Like so much. It was like, if I didn't meet my husband that month, I would have been confused if I looked at it now. Like that kind of energy.
really? Wow.
That's pretty cool.
That
You
is
know?
cool. Oh, looking back at transits is like my favorite hobby, maybe.
Yeah.
And honestly, you can learn a lot. I'll say this to anyone who wants to learn astrology out there. Like looking back at past transits is so helpful for understanding planets because
Yeah.
you already know what happened. So you're like, oh, so that's part of how that energy
Right.
shows up. I think I've learned so much about astrology from just that. Right.
Yeah.
Could you bring
Where's
bring
Mercury?
that into therapy as well? Like if you're with clients, you'd also kind of, map things back and, look at it psychodynamically.
Well, yeah, I do that a lot, especially in my astro coaching, because
Cool.
that tends to be about more the teaching, which I really love, by the way. I think my Gemini is so fed by that.
Yeah.
So I love being a therapist, and I also am like, ooh, teaching. Like, I mean, I know they like weave in, but yeah, when we talk about Saturn, like 100%, we talk about Saturn in the chart, and then I go and I do the dates for the Saturn return. I'm like, if they've gone through it, what was going on for you then? Like, let's break it down. What are the clues? Like, what was the pivot? What was the breakdown? I think it's a great way to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one of the questions I wrote before we started recording was like, how does your chart ruler Mercury show up? And you're answering that, but one of like the bigger questions I have for this like long project parts and charts is like, the Mercury and Saturn are talked about as the astrologer's planets, like the interpreter Mercury, and then Saturn is the time tracker, time makes sense person, you
Yeah.
know? So like how, and in therapy, my assumptions as not a therapist, and I've gone to only maybe 2 different therapists in my lifetime, my assumption is that there is maybe less Mercury actively present. It's more of like receiving and creating the space for the person's Mercury, their own Mercury, to do the work for them. How do you what do you think about that?
Yeah, that's fun. That's interesting. Well, I was already thinking Saturn plays in also as just the reckoning, like real talk. Like, it's like therapy's not fun, you know? Can we say that? Saturn's not fun. I mean, sometimes. Well, I don't know actually. Is Saturn fun? But Saturn, but yeah, it's a good question. I think, well, you're asking a Gemini rising because I
Yeah.
was say I think so much of my work is asking questions. So my Mercury is
Yeah.
but yeah, it's obviously them sharing and speaking and feeling. It's interesting to think about therapy parts like planetarily.
Yeah. And Chelsea has a first house Mercury in Leo. And as a
That's
therapist, yeah.
probably so warm. Yeah. Can we hear about how you think that helps you?
Ooh, I haven't really thought about how it helps me. I think it does though, right? Or maybe did we discuss that? We discussed that on one of the earlier episodes, right, KP?
Possibly. I mean, I do feel just the way you use language and choose your words, like there is
Yeah.
such a generous nature.
Yeah.
I could assume your clients feel like cared for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the warmth probably comes through.
Yeah.
The warmth, the big heartedness, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the confidence. Can I say that? Do you feel confident?
Did I say
Well, you got that Chiron and Gemini though, like me. So
I think
don't know.
I think it's like, I'm going to confidently say that. Confidence, yeah. But I think it's taken a while, especially, being in the field and working up to the point of being like, oh, I think I do know what I'm talking about. It's taken a while for sure. And still feeling like quite green or quite young, at least, even though it's been 10 years, But yeah, I think confidence is there.
so. 12th housers are therapists. Mercury people are therapists. What's another therapist?
Well, the moon. The moon. Right? Where are y'all's moons again? Can I hear? Like,
Yeah, Leo
Chelsea's
and
first.
yeah, Leo.
Yeah, in Placidus, I think your moon is in your 12th though.
Yeah,
Which is interesting.
I know.
The first time I read for Chelsea was with Placidus. I was like, you have so much in the 12th. She still has 12th house stuff in the whole sign, but
yeah.
Well,
my
thank
moon
God
is
she's a therapist, right?
Thank God.
yeah. Like it was like so apparent to me that you were a mystical, like compassionate person right off the bat.
Cute.
For me, I have Cancer in the 7th house. Cancer moon in the 7th house.
Right, I do remember that. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, you would be a great therapist. Can we say that?
We just recorded an episode where I was like, I have attempted to go to school for therapy a few times and just never done it. Yeah.
Well, be free, stay an artist. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't know. That's a weird, but
Well, I like it.
I mean,
My moon is unaspected by anything too.
Oh yeah, I heard that in one of the episodes.
Another thing I'm like contemplating and applying to my life almost every hour. Like, oh, is this the unaspected moon feeling?
It feels like a strong. Well, no, I guess some people would argue that's not strong because it's not speaking to other things.
Right.
But there's something about it that's almost like it's so pure. And I remember in that episode, well, yeah, it's the ruler. Cancer moon is so potent.
Yeah. I mean, I did have a really good friend mention that, like, it's just like not having an aspect with your moon might mean that you are the ability to like absorb or imagine other people's perspectives without, purity is a good word, I guess, but without tainting with my own perspective.
Sure.
Like, I'll take that. That sounds good.
Right. But wow, I'm also taking in all your Libra placements and then it being in the 7th house. Like, you're so relational. My goodness. You probably, like, I'm a 12th house moon, so I'm like absorbing all the vibes, even when I don't want to. I'm sure that your 7th house Cancer moon is also taking in everybody's, the people you're in relationship with, right? What is that like? That sounds intense.
the best example I have is I went to AWP in 2023.
Yeah.
Which was in Seattle, and that's the Association of Writing Programs, I think is what it's called. But it's a conference, and it was like 12,000 poets, writers, like in this big conference building. And there was so much joy, like palpable joy, that I was like constantly crying. And I had a friend have to like yell at a stranger for me who was trying to like get us to buy something. Leave my friend alone. She's sensitive. Because I was just like so absorbing. Everyone's like, was hugging. It was like near the end of like lockdown kind of feelings. We were all kind of like processing that we haven't seen each other for 3 years, you know. Anyway, that's my greatest example. Is like if I'm in a space with that much potent energy, it's like in my veins and it's really overwhelming. And I have to go to water and I have to go to cold wind and then it's fine. So Seattle was good for that.
Oh my God. Yeah. That makes so much sense. Wait, cold wind. Love that.
Yeah.
Oh, the air. The air.
Yeah, I didn't know that was an astrological thing until I'm like, oh my God, this is definitely my chart.
Wow.
Cold wind, that's the Capricorn cold, wind, and then by the water, you know?
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
cool. Oh my God, you just gave me this fun idea. Should we start a business where we like prescribe people their well, I mean, I already think of the moon as how you resource people. Like I say, feed your moon. I feel like now you just made me think of the big three.
Yeah.
How do we like a prescription for what you need to take care of yourself based on your big three? Like
Would
you just nailed
the Leo prescription just be get sunshine?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Or
like, going to the beach.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I think that's why I love hot springs so much, because it's hot water and inside. Yeah.
And do you, like tea, hot tea, you're a big herbalist.
Yeah. Yeah. Big T energy. Yeah.
What are your big three, Lisa?
I have Sun and Moon in Taurus and then Gemini rising. So I'm actually very Taurian, but in the 12th. So it's you know, it's a little complicated. But yeah, so Earth, Air. Yeah, prescribe me.
Let's look up.
You're a desert person now, right? You're a desert person, and
I am a desert person. Yeah.
and that's like, I don't know, that the land seems very special to you there, and having, I don't know, to me, desert air feels very specific, like, or maybe even Tauran in some ways, like kind of dry, can be cold, also can be hot, but I don't know, something about that.
Yeah.
I love that. I'll take that.
I'm thinking of tree swinging.
Oh,
you know?
Oh my God.
Have you done that?
I mean, not recently, but I got the visual of like being with Earth but moving.
Yeah. Something like that. Or like when you were a kid, did someone ever like swing you, but like you felt like you could trust them to not drop you? Like that kind of.
Oh my God, you're Cancer Moon therapist. I'm feeling it. I don't know. I hope that happened for me, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, it can happen.
I can do it for myself, right? Actually, it'd be very house if we adding in the houses is a whole other thing. But like, if I'm doing it alone because it's in the 12th. So I'm like, this is gonna feel best if I'm like by myself on my tree swing, you know?
That's sweet.
Ooh.
I love this image for you.
I do too.
Nice prescriptive.
Chelsea.
Or like a weighted blanket.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, but like, where's the air though? Something like, but I'm like
TV, like a fan, something blowing on you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, a fan and a weighted blanket.
Or something I've said before is like, one of the imagery for mine is like, I'm in like a busy cafe or something, but I'm like in the corner and like the coziest nook. Yeah. And I'm like people watching, but I'm so safe and like I know no one can creep up on me, but I can see. Do you know?
Yes, I love that image. Yeah, that's the best.
And you know what? I think red sneakers. Yep. That's it. I got it.
I love prescribing
this. That's your new podcast. We're just gonna do imagery for callers who call in for the big three.
Oh my God, that should be like our special, our little like how we end the episodes or something.
Actually, one of my favorite podcasts they do, you can judge me, everybody. It's It's called Allegedly Astrology, and they do famous people's astrology. And if you give them a 5-star rating, they will do a funny roast of your big three. So like y'all could say, if you give us a 5-star rating, we'll do imagery of your big three.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Done. Oh my God. Thanks.
Okay, done.
Yeah, this
That's
is the
what we're
best
doing.
idea ever. Yeah.
Done deal.
Thank you for the coaching.
You are a podcaster, Lisa. I really feel like you
Mhm.
need your own podcast. It's your Gemini.
I don't know. I don't know if I like to be in charge. I like to like pop in.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay.
It's helpful to have a
You want to
co-host.
come in every once in a while?
Yeah. You're a regular guest. We just decided that.
This is so fun. This is so sweet.
I know we're almost at an hour, but if you can go a little bit longer, can you?
Sure.
Because I'm like, God, I still have a million more questions.
Yeah, so I feel like I maybe too long of answers.
No, we're doing great.
Mhm.
I'm curious if I know you have worked with couples or you do work with couples a little bit. Or still working with couples like in the astro therapy world.
You go on.
I'm just curious how that's been if you're kind of doing the astro psycho education, or even like what do we call it, synastry, when you're looking at like couples charts together, and I don't know what that's like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to be honest, I don't really do couples work. Oh no, hold on. I'm losing my voice now. Hold on. I don't really do the couples for Astrotherapy.
Mhm.
I do regular couples
Yeah.
therapy. But I do feel like, I mean, you're giving me my new business proposition, right?
Yes.
But I do readings for that,
Yeah.
right? Which is obviously really valuable. I think we all agree.
Oh, yeah.
And then sometimes for the individual person I work with, if the partner consents, we'll like bring in that chart and look at it and see like how it goes together. But no, at the moment I don't do couples astrotherapy, but should I?
Yes.
That sounds cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is really valuable. It's like
Yeah.
everybody's different roadmap and how it clashes. I mean, I joke with my clients all the time, just in all the therapies. I'm like, it's just amazing that any of us get along at all. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're all just like
Yeah.
coming in with all this baggage
Yeah.
and we're all so
Yeah.
different. So
Yeah.
it's like the art of figuring out how we can get along. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I think
Um,
resources are just so valuable. I think everyone needs more of that. And there's not as many people doing it. Like, I find it
yeah.
hard to refer to couples therapists because I don't have that many to refer to, or
Do you
everyone.
do it? I forget. Do you do IFS with couples?
I haven't really been doing that much couples work lately. And I haven't gotten trained. There's like a specific training called IFIO, Internal Family Systems. I don't even know what it stands for. Whatever. It's like it's kind of a separate training. So you can get trained in that specifically to work with couples. But um, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
lot of it's a lot more work, and I think that's what like a lot of people are maybe turned off by, or just find it a little bit more I don't know, hard to manage. Multiple people in the room, but we
Yeah.
always need more resources for couple stuff, and I think
Yeah.
it's cool to like, and maybe this is another business idea for you, to combine Astro and NVC techniques and modalities, like, because I think a lot of people a lot of couples are interested in learning more NVC, or just like learning how to communicate with each other. Like, I feel like that's always the thing that people are coming
Yeah.
in with, right? They're like, this is the thing that we need help with or want to learn more about. And so I don't know how that would work, but I think there's potential there.
Interesting.
And I
Yeah.
mean, makes me think of, and I'm curious what all of you think, like, yeah, for the astro, it's like Mercury, hello, how do you communicate?
Yeah.
Right? Shadow and light, okay, because each sign. And then also I just want to throw in, if I were to do like a total couples thing or whatever, I would focus on the moon and Venus as well, massively, right?
Yeah.
Like Venus is a lot, but like relational style. And then the moon, though. Oh my God, the moon is just like so much eternal astrotherapy land, because it's one part of it is definitely like our deepest emotional needs, right?
Yeah.
How you feel safe and secure. So, like, yeah, attachment stuff,
Yeah.
it's so in there.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, that's just what's coming off the top of
Yeah,
my
that
head.
also makes me wonder, as we're kind of working out our two modalities here with parts in astrology, like if you've noticed or want to contribute anything to our research in like how you found, I don't know, is there like a one-to-one, like up this part is this planet or this in or maybe
Mm,
this house, or like is it, have you seen clusters of parts in a house or clusters of parts in like the moon area, or yeah, just anything that you've kind of noticed concerning the two?
yeah. I mean, I've been thinking about this so much, especially since I've been listening to your podcasts, which I
Yeah.
love. Shout out again. I've been trying to wrap up oh, how does that structure? Because my brain isn't always so structured. It's not so linear. But yeah, I love the way you've been connecting the dots, right? Of this planet, this part,
Yeah.
um, one thought I had, and again, I don't have this figured out at all, but is that maybe also each of the planets have a little bit of all of those things in IFS,
Yeah, totally.
how the moon, or I don't know, let's pick Venus, I don't know, could have the managers that are protecting the burden, or the
Yeah,
burden stories that are deeply protecting the exile. Maybe it has all of the
totally.
parts.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? You could
Yeah.
almost IFS each thing individually.
For sure.
And I think you could do this a million ways,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But also 100%, there are ones that are so obvious, right?
Yeah.
Or I don't know if I should say obvious, but I don't know. I don't know. I was thinking about the moon. I watched your firefighter moon thing,
Yeah.
or listened to it. And yeah, 100%. The moon, I mean, again, the moon is so many things in astrology, but 100%, actually, one of my mentors said that the moon shows our oldest survival strategy.
Yeah.
So yeah, coping,
Yeah.
manager, does that screaming also manager, firefighter? I guess it depends the extreme of whatever's going on for you.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't
Totally.
know. There's my
Yeah.
first thought. I don't have it figured out in how to put language to all of it.
Yeah.
I know.
I think I do work a lot thinking about protective parts, which is IFS 101,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
right?
That's so smart, interesting. Smart and interesting to think about each placement, planet, asteroid, or whatever, having their own system.
Yeah.
And then have that client knows what that means, and then
Yeah.
Yeah,
exploring what is being protected, or, in that placement.
Mm-hmm.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like it is a really exploratory place. Y'all are exploring it. I know my own astro therapist friends are also trying to figure out what is I think it's a new world that everyone is
Yeah.
trying to figure out. How does this actually go together? Because
Mm-hmm.
they are so complementary,
Yeah.
you know?
If they're done with the client first, right? Because it
Mm.
can be dangerous to tell someone who they are instead of having them oh yeah, I guess that makes sense, and then talk about it, I think
Mm-hmm.
that's one of my fears is
Yeah.
I always want it to be collaborative because it needs to
Mm.
be.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Well,
Yeah.
that's the questions, right? You got to ask, or how has this shown up for you? Actually,
Yeah.
that was another thing my mentor said. I was shout out Laura.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was it's not about knowing everything, because imposter syndrome 101, freaking out, oh my God, what am I doing? And then her being you don't have to know everything. In fact, you can't know everything. It's about asking the right questions to get
Mm-hmm.
the conversation going, to understand
Yeah.
how has this person experienced this placement, right? We
Yeah.
can't know.
Yeah.
You can know general themes, or yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
that's the fun part too.
totally. I think it's so cool what you guys are doing with the parts. And I don't have it figured out. That's why I'm I gotta listen to your podcast to figure it out.
We are figuring it out in real time.
I like having a hypothesis and not being know-it-alls right away.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's such a feminine wisdom. Can we say that?
Lilith.
Oh,
Huh?
she might be I know.
I'll talk with her and see what she says.
I know that you use a lot of, well, I know that I see your like sand tray online.
Ooh.
So I don't want to say I know that you use it a lot, but I just like love your office and I long to have a sand tray someday or like just practice in person more. And I love your like all your figures look so cool. And yeah, so I just love that you utilize that as well. Do you use tarot with clients too and the sand tray aspects as well?
Yeah, occasionally. Actually, sometimes I'll pull a card before I meet with somebody and there's like a little information. Actually, y'all just did that. Your people know. It was so cute. Yeah, tarot. I'd like to bring in tarot first. Tarot was actually my first love. And then once astrology came in, I
Yeah.
abandoned tarot. I was like, move over. Like I have a new obsession, you know. But,
Mhm.
I mean, it's all archetypes, right? They're all
Mhm.
same thing with Santray.
Yeah.
I love
Mhm.
the Santray. Obviously, I can't do it when I work with people online. I work with a lot of people on the internet.
You do?
I
Mhm.
do. I really, really do. And I actually love it. I love being able to work with people all over
Yeah.
with the coaching,
Yeah.
especially. Yeah, I love the archetypes and it's like playing with the unconscious and
It's
like
so
pick
fun.
a pick a toy for your moon, pick a toy for your Uranus transit. Like it's really cool to
Yeah,
like democratize
totally.
that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Before we wrap up, where can people find you? How can people work with you or interact with you?
Oh, okay. Sweet. Yeah. Well, it's so funny. Okay, I guess I'm just going to stick with the TikTok or okay, so I would say if you want to learn from me for astrology, yeah, I'm on TikTok and Instagram. I don't do much on the Instagram right now, but TikTok is where I have all my videos where you can learn. So my handle is the Lilith Therapist with dots in between. I'm sure you could Google it. Yeah, on TikTok mostly right now. Again, Instagram, work in progress. It's like I know I'm a Gemini rising, but also I just want to try to unify. Actually, maybe that's Uranus on my Chiron in Gemini right now. That's like I'm trying to be less split, if that makes
Ooh,
sense.
Yeah.
I
yeah,
would love
that's
to
cool.
bring things to one place, but it doesn't seem to be my karma.
Mm.
But yeah, I would say TikTok, the Lilith Therapist right now. And I offer Astrotherapy for people who live in California. And for the rest of the people, it's Astro coaching. Yeah.
Great.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And we will put links in the show notes and everyone who's listening, like click on those links and get to know Lisa's work more.
Thank you.
Yeah. Aw, great.
This was
This has
so
been
fun.
Thank you for joining us for Parts and Charts, the IFS and Astrology podcast. If something sparked insight or resonated with you, we'd love to hear from you.
No, really, we're here to make friends. Reach out to us. Leave a comment, subscribe, and if you feel called, share this episode with someone you care about. Or, if you want to work with us one-on-one and go deeper with this work, check the link in the show notes for how to find us.
Until next time, may all of you feel a part of the family.